Houston is so big, both population-wise and area-wise, that it just makes sense to have regional planning organizations. So a group of us decided that we needed to create the North Houston Association. And I guess the primary objectives at that point were to establish good, strong relationships with city planning and the Texas Highway Department, TxDOT, and assist them in looking forward and doing especially transportation planning.
Well, it was easy to get involved because there was the Greater Houston Partnership, which focused on the whole region. But because it's such a large region, both the North Houston Association and West Houston Association evolved in order to tend to this infrastructure issues in their geography.
Our big project at the time that I was really involved in the beginning was the creation of the Harris County Toll Road Authority. That was one that got me excited. It was similar to what we had done at West Houston.
When I came to the North Houston Association, I think it was 1983, thereabouts, I already knew the organization because I was in the legislature at the time. And so I'd worked with them, but that part of Harris County and Montgomery County, largely unincorporated, no Chamber of Commerce really focused on it. And so since I was on the House Transportation Committee, a lot of what we dealt with were roads and bridges and things like that. And so I kind of knew what they were about, and it was largely developer dominated. And let's face it, to have decent development, you have to have decent transportation. So a lot of our focus was really putting together a transportation plan, and I knew that going into the job, and so I thought I was fairly well suited for it.
In the early years, the North Houston Association was really a developers organization exclusively, meaning that only developers could be on the board, and members had to be somehow associated with developers, like consultants and that sort of thing. So it was sort of a closed club in the beginning. It's obviously expanded, and it needed to include a lot of other disciplines and a lot of other people. But in the beginning, it was a developers organization.
The effectiveness of our organization was clearly evident around the conference table, the board table. The discussion, the debates, always with decorum and respect, acceptance of different perspectives to reach a consensus for common goals in a cooperative way.
The Texas Turnpike Authority controlled the development of toll roads in Texas, and they were always focused on Dallas. And Harris County, Houston, this metropolitan area wanted some attention paid to potentially building a toll road system down here. And on a hunt, we had John Lindsay, Bob Braden. John Lindsay was Harris County judge, Bob Braden at Turner, Colley and Braden. John Butler was on the Highway Commission, Dick Lindley on the Turnpike Authority, Clive Runnels on the Turnpike Authority, and we had Herb Keller along just for entertainment. But literally in the dirt, they drew the Harris County toll road system. There'll be a loop around Houston. There'll be the Hardy Toll Road. The Hardy Toll Road was thought to be the first one to go because it would be the cash cow. And we got all done drawing that in the dirt. And John Butler agreed that the Highway Department would pay for the interchange with 610. And Dick Lindley and Clive Runnels would get the Turnpike Authority to back off. And we would go to the state legislature to get agreement to produce or create the Harris County Toll Road Authority. We got all done doing that, standing out on a mesa in Mexico, walked away from it, and John Lindsay walked back to it and rubbed his foot through the dirt so nobody could see what the plan was. I thought that was hilarious. But that's when the Harris County Toll Road Authority was first generally agreed to go to the legislature to create the entity, to make the plan, to start building the toll road system, which has served this county so well.
I was very involved with them because that's where the engineering crowd was. And we had a common goal. We had a major project that George Mitchell was pushing, of course, which was the Toll Road Authority. And the engineering crowd, of course, jumped into that with vim and vigor, to say the least. because they wanted, HNTB and everybody in Harris County wanted a piece of that action. And I tried to work it out so that almost all of them got a piece of that action back in those days.
Lindsay was stuck because of Commissioner Lyons. Commissioner Lyons put his feet in the ground, heels in the ground, and said, I'm not gonna spend county money on that damn thing that is not gonna do anything but bring people from north of Harris County into Harris County. Hey, Commissioner, that's how the economy grows, is you bring outside money in.
I've been working with the North Houston Association for going on 40 years over. I think it's more than 40 years. Probably the first project I worked on when we moved to Harris County was the Hardy Toll Road, which was the first segment of the Harris County Toll Road.
One thing that is lost in history, the Sam Houston Parkway is the Sam Houston Parkway because of the North Houston Association.
Once the Beltway project began to come to completion, and it's funny how things like this happen, but I was in a meeting one day and we said, do we have to call it Beltway 8? I mean, isn't there, in Dallas, their circumferential freeway is called LBJ. So, and then as that discussion continued, we said, well, there's a Houston Street, but there's not a street in Harris County that is called Sam Houston. So let's see if we can get the Beltway changed to Sam Houston Parkway. Well, it took an act of the legislature, but we got it done.
I remember a project that we did over on the JFK, down the middle of JFK, and it was a group of people. And I think we actually had a landscape committee.
The NHA was very supportive of the re-landscaping along Interstate 45. This, visually and enhancing the freeway, which typically is signage and commercial businesses, was really a huge improvement to the North Houston area.
North Houston Association was so impactful in the projects that they led for the community, and the ones that I was mostly involved in had to do with economic development. And to me, the biggest and most important one was the land use map that they did for many years that showed graphically where the growth was coming and what areas of retail and commercial and residential. And it was a great tool for people in planning, and also was one of the most common accessories in a conference room throughout businesses in North Houston.
With increased development in the region, new transportation options and facilities were imperative to meet the growing needs of both Harris and Montgomery counties. The Grand Parkway had opened the first segment in 1994, and as new segments continued to be developed and built, the North Houston Association played a major role for advocacy for this important facility.
The North Houston Association has a well-earned reputation in terms of advocacy for infrastructure projects, but we've relied on them in my career. We've relied on North Houston Association for a lot more than that, primarily in the area of economic development. So while infrastructure is important for economic development, North Houston Association has been a repository of information for us and has produced a lot of information for us in its various projects that we've been able to use with potential relocation clients.
We have a developer focus, but that's not our sole focus. And I think that makes a difference. It helps bring to light some of the other issues that are significant in our service area. Mobility is still significant. The water issue in the northern part of our service area is still significant.
Our Environment Committee of the North Houston Association worked with Senator John Lindsay's office to review and make recommendations on the proposed legislation. In that year, it was called Senate Bill 1 that created the North Harris County Regional Water Authority. At the time, the area was under a mandate to convert from groundwater to surface water. And all of the North Houston Association service area is primarily made up of mud districts.
Having an ally like the North Houston Association is invaluable. When people like myself would go to TxDOT locally or before the Highway Commission or to HGAC to try to acquire funding for road projects, because the membership of North Houston Association obviously understands the importance of mobility infrastructure. And when you have someone, an organization like that behind you, when you go looking for funding, it's just a huge, huge advantage.
Project is probably a misnomer for what NHA does because it's more relationships. It's more tying all the things together that happen within a region. So it's the county or the counties in our case. It's the cities. It's all the TxDOT, the state. So really what we do is accumulate knowledge and information that we can apply to our local region.
For so many years, you guys have put together what is necessary to bring transportation, I think environmental issues, developmental trends, water issues, to bring those things together so that our North Houston area can prosper, specifically here in Montgomery County. It is a combination of all of those things that as we see what others have done who have gone before us, and we work with them and work with you guys as we gather together in these meetings and whatnot, it's pretty remarkable the things that we learn and how we grow as the result of it.
We have engineers and consultants, we have landowners and developers, we also have public agency participation and membership, and we also have elected officials and other corporations that believe in a vibrant North Houston area.
What I find unique about NHA is the people here. And I'm not just talking about staff or board members. Our members are just incredible. The consistency and the quality of the people that I get to work with every single day is amazing. And it's such a testament to the value of NHA when you have a member that advances in their career and they move on to other places, which happens quite a bit. Before I even get an opportunity to reach out to them, send them an email or a phone call and say, congratulations on your new position, they are already emailing me or calling me, asking me for information on how their company that they're with now can join. And that to me is such a testament to the value that NHA provides. We make it easier for them to do their jobs as well as have an impact on the community.
Look at us today in our membership. Look at sure, we still have a lot of the big boys attending, and they attend because there's so many decision makers from agencies and the political arena. So I think it's become very, very balanced in a lot of ways. Still heavy on engineers, but you see so many different industries now.
NHA, 40 years. Thank you. Thank you for caring about our community. Thank you for building. Thank you for giving us great leaders like Marlissa and that fabulous and amazing staff that you pulled together. Thank you for successively finding, promoting, and developing the talent in your board and in those that are involved in our community and of giving back. 40 years, the next 40 years are the best yet to come.